Hey everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to take a look at version 14.3, which is the newest update since we just had a maintenance yesterday. There's a bunch of new features that, of course, as always, I want to make sure you guys are aware of because some of them you just won't know unless you're being told about it. So there's a bunch of hidden quality of life updates that I want to make sure you're aware of, so let's get started. First things first, there are a few new berries. This new one is called Heimei Kezuri no Chikara, and of course there is no English name for this, so you can the equivalent of this is Cutthroat, the Shoumei Kezuri, I think, and that one would reduce the percentage of the boss's HP. This one reduces a percentage of all of the non-bosses on the stage. The percentages are exactly the same, I believe, from the Cutthroat berries. So as an S, you'll get 12%, S plus you'll get 14%, and S plus plus it's 16%. So this is pretty significant. I think we'll probably see a bunch of stages in the future that will help out a lot if you have this Heimei Kezuri no Chikara berry. And just for those of you who of course can't figure it out, in the sorting form, it is on the bottom right of the able berries, so you can search for it that way. Of course, I don't have any, and neither did my friend list. I was hoping to show a video of it, but nobody had it, so oh well, sorry guys. But it has the same cool purple effect. Again, this will affect non-bosses, whereas the Shoumei Kezuri, aka Cutthroat, will affect only the boss. Alright, number 2 is some buffs on the combo berries. Now you've seen the Kamegeki Kamegeki, Kasokume, and Kagekisoku. The ones that have 2 of the abilities before. Now, before, those were pretty garbage level berries, and I don't think most people took them. However, they have been doubled in terms of effectiveness. So the values you see now are the newest ones. And if you take a look at the bottom right value, or let's take a look at them individually. So the HP, the first line is if you have the Gekishu or the Sengata version. So that's the sling type or the attack type. So like blast power, stuff like that. Those are now going to be at 600, 800, and 1000 for the HP and attack. And if you're looking at speed, that will be 8, 10.6, and 13.3 for the S levels, S plus and S plus plus, respectively. Now, what's big here is, of course, the Dozoku, the same class types. If you have that berry with the combos, now you're looking at 1200, 1600, and 2000 bonus in terms of the HP and attack. Speed, 16, 21.2, 23. Well, forget about the speed. But the fact that you can now get that much bonus on the HP and attack values is pretty darn good. So that Dozoku Kamegeki, so that first one on the left, with the same class type, that is going to give you 2000 HP and 2000 attack if you're the same class. A certain set of monsters, I think like Otsu and Ono no Komachi, that combo is going to be able to take advantage of that very well. So all of a sudden this Kamegeki berry just rises in terms of effectiveness, and this is probably something you want in terms of monsters you know that play together nicely, like Otsu and Komachi, or Shibuki and Mu Alpha. I don't know if they're the same class, but at least they will be able to interact with each other much better with these new berries. Pretty cool. Alright, the other berry buff is the Heart Kyoka no Chikara, and this one, before, the heart bonus in terms of extra healing you get would only apply to the monster that had the berry. Now it has been changed such that the entire team benefits it as long as one of your units has the berry. So this actually does have a usage now, right? Because now your entire team benefits from that bonus if a few certain stages are pretty tough in terms of HP, and you know hearts are going to come. Maybe you have a bunch of max lux. This does have something to help out a little bit more, because before it used to only be that one monster, which almost certainly wasn't worth it. At least this time you can think about it being worth it. Still debatable. Anyways, for those of you who are curious, the percentage bonuses are 10%, 12.5%, and 15% for S, S plus, and S plus plus, respectively. Alright, so that is the berry buffs. We can now go to number 4, which is a guaranteed divine quest. So you can now get divines for sure using this new quest, which is available once per day, and you can only join it as hosts. So sorry, if you join as a guest, you're not going to get any rewards. But as you can see, there are 4 different quests available. It costs 100, 200, 300, and 400 stamina. And based on how much stamina you spend, that divided by 100 gives you that many divines guaranteed. So for example, if you run the 400 stamina quest, you are going to get 4 divine shards guaranteed. It will come as a speed clear bonus, so that's why it is only available as a host. So even if you join this quest as a guest, you're not getting anything. You're not getting the guaranteed ones. You can still get divines through normal means, right, with luck chests and all that, but the guaranteed one is only for the host, so do be careful. In addition, there are no max luck bonuses that will be activated, so you can't use it won't have the strike shot running right away. You can't continue on a death. Hopefully it's not that hard. You can't use the biscuit either, so there's no way to double the bonuses here. The other thing that you should be worried about here is that, is there anything else? Yeah, just remember it is only once per day. Alright? Next, number 5, lucky monster sorting in the library. The library now allows you to sort by this week's lucky monster, so it makes it slightly easier to farm for these monsters instead of having to search for it everywhere, right? So, alright. Oh, well, here's the new library monsters if you're curious. But before, right, you'd have to search. It's like, oh, what was today's lucky monster? This week's lucky monsters? I don't know. Well, never fear. You can now hit the gray icon on the top right. Click that lucky monster icon, and you can see the 5 monsters that will be available this week for farming. Pretty cool. I like it. Not that I farm for lucky monsters anymore, but for those of you who do, got slightly easier. Alright, number 6. So this is going to be a little... This is just for people who can type in Japanese and all that stuff. So for those of you who do care about this, not when you transcend a monster, for example, like Chiyo, her transcended form actually doesn't have the word Chiyo in it. So if you search for Chiyo, you would not be able to find her. Let's see. There you go. Right, her name in her transcended form is MDT Big Innovator Evolve. No Chiyo. So when you tried to search for her, it wasn't there. Now, this does include all previous forms, so... Chiyo, that's not right. So it now shows all different forms of Chiyo that you have. Actually, it'll probably be better to show in the Monsterpedia. Right, so as you can see, all the forms of Chiyo are now available just because that Evo form had Chiyo in it, right? Or base form, I guess. Oh yeah, even her Evo forms didn't have it, but we still knew her as Chiyo, right? So that's a pretty cool change. I know, like, Shiro from Game With was all about that, saying make it searchable. So I think this was thanks to him that this became a feature. Alright, number 7, they have updated the badge when you're trying to give an Ableberry badge to a monster with 198 luck. When you fuse them together, before you would actually lose the excess monsters. Now, it will explicitly state that you will get some of that monster back with that blue badge, I guess, label on the top right of that monster. So just like how you, when you overfuse, it will give you back the change. Same thing here with the Ableberry badge. Just keep in mind when you do this, whatever you get back is returned at level 1 with no pluses anymore. If you select multiple types of monsters, whether it's Evo form or different look and feels, like different costumes of a monster, the first one you select will be the version that you get change from. So if you want a specific version, make sure to choose that. And if your change exceeds the max possible luck of your returned monster, the excess is lost, right? So remember, a 5-star monster, the maximum is 75 luck. So if you're past that, you're gonna lose that bonus. All right. Number 8. There's a friend slot quality of life update. So I don't know if you've seen this before, but you know when you go on a quest and it's like, oh, you know what? Let me change my monster for my friends, right? So you have this option here to change your monsters. You click that button and you have the option to select. It's like, what was good for, was it Joka? Never fear. Now you can click here. The Osusume version, that blue radar, will now show you the suggested monsters based on everybody's clears, just like you would normally see in your regular friend slot. It now applies for your box as well. So that's a pretty cool update for those of you who like to help out, or you just want to use your own monster and make it slightly easier to see which are the good monsters for that quest. All right. Number 9, new player campaign. So if you're just starting this game, there are a few bonuses that you get as a newbie. As you can see, if you're not aware, for the first 2 weeks, 336 hours, hopefully I did that math right, you normally got 2 times your experience with the normal quest and times 3 divine drops if you're doing the daily event quest. I don't know if this applies to the new quest. Probably not. Oh, maybe it does. I don't know. Anyways, the important ones are 3 and 4. Those are new ones. As a new player, for the first 2 weeks, you will get 4 times the experience on clearing event quests and library quests. Of course, they aren't the bread and butter of experience. You should be clearing the normal quests that way, but hey, more ways to get experience is always good, especially at the beginning, because you're going to be leveling up like crazy. And we're in the final slew of updates. So number 10, we got the library and badge additions. You saw the library bonus. You'll see new monsters in there. The badge additions, more monsters can get able berries. Probably the more notable updates is Babel in his ascended form can get one, and Naraku can also get a badge. So for those of you who still haven't farmed enough, or kind of, I just sold, a bunch of Babel for luck recently, so that's really unfortunate timing on my part. But hey, it's a nice way to get an Ableberry badge if you want. Number 11, there's some Slayer text updates as a motorcyclist goes by. Again, this is only if you know Japanese, because you probably aren't searching otherwise. But when you have a Slayer for certain what was it? Class types, for example. The wording was just slightly off in terms of it's saying that just against that type of class, but really it's only for enemies of that type. Very small text difference, but hey, they made sure to call it out explicitly. There is a slight change to the good job designs. They said, with the exception of the newer one, they just kind of conformed everything to be more consistent with each other. Honestly, I don't know what the change is exactly. I didn't notice anything obvious, but they said they tweaked some of the good jobs to make things consistent. So if you find it, let me know. Gacha. So you may have noticed that the gacha reservation button on the top right, that green button that allowed you to get a notification when a new gacha is here, it is now gone. So I have to imagine that not many people were using it if they took it out, but if you were relying on that notification, do note that it's just not there anymore. So make sure you pay attention in game whenever a new gacha is available. And last but not least, 14, there are a bunch of strike shot bugs that they had to fix. I don't think they were all, bugs in specific situations. So Deku, Ochako, Tutankhamen, and Jipang all had slight bugs. Actually, Jipang had a pretty big one where in specific situations, like when you were entering warps or moving around with effects that you wouldn't actually, even as a Minesweeper, you wouldn't be taking the mine. You would actually get attached to you as if you didn't have Minesweeper. That bug should be fixed. But for Deku, Ochako, and Tutankhamen, their strike shots have been fixed so that that they work properly. Again, rare situations in which you got the bug, but hopefully not too many of you got hit by that. And that is it. That is the main updates. Again, if you haven't seen my last video, they did make a slight tweak in the gachas, where if you have multiple tokudamas, for example, you can always pull those at once. So I had 2 tokudamas and I was able to do a 2 pull with that. I think that was new, right? I'm pretty sure you had to do that one by one before. So that was a cool update. I'm not aware of anything else new, and actually let me check if they have tweeted any bugs yet with the newest version, but I don't remember seeing anything too crazy recently, so hopefully that means they had a smooth 14.3 update. Let's see. Okay, so there was a bug where for some people you couldn't get your messages, but it was already fixed after the update happened, so yeah, I think we're safe. So let me know if you have any questions with the updates. I'll be more than happy to answer them. You just leave them in the comments or tweet me at ENGMonst or ScottNackYT. Either place, I will be happy to answer for you. Comments, of course, that's great too. But yeah, and if you haven't noticed, I have changed the lighting in my room so that I think it's a nicer color than the yellowish light I had before. So hopefully that changes for the better. Hopefully you like it. All right. That's it for me today. Thank you for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.